These are my top 15 favorite movies of all time. This is the hardest list I've ever had to make. Let's go. At number 15 is Sinister. The year was 2012. I was dating a girl in high school. We were looking to see a scary movie. We're at the mall. We got dropped off on a Friday. We were going to go see a comedy and let's just go see something scary. I had never seen the previews, but ooh, Sinister, that has to be good. And my mind was blown. 12 years later, I think this is one of the best horror movies of all time. This is in my top 3. Ethan Hawke kills it. The found footage tapes and the sound design just still get under my skin. The ending, it just all still to this day is so damn good. I love watching this around Halloween. We have a big tree in my backyard. We put a projector on, and that opening scene just sets the tone, and I love it. At 14, in my opinion, the best James Bond ever is Casino Royale. I think this is the best Daniel Craig one as well. 2006, I love James Bond. I grew up watching all of Sean Connery, Roger Moore, and even Pierce Brosnan. And James Bond at the time, a lot of people forget, when 2002, Die Another Day, there was a 4-year gap between Die Another Day and when this movie came out in 2006. And James Bond was not a good franchise because Die Another Day sucked. People hated Daniel Craig because he had blonde hair. He had everything against him. And Martin Campbell and Daniel Craig killed this movie. It is the origin of James Bond, and it's phenomenal. Go watch this. At 13, and it's my favorite 80s movie of all time, is The Karate Kid. I was getting bullied a lot between the ages of 8 and 10 years old. This movie inspired me, and we got Cobra Kai, we have Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off, sweep the leg, put him in a body bag, no mercy. I mean, these are just endless go-to quotes for today, and I love Cobra Kai, and I love The Karate Kid. At number 12, we have Michael Bay's epic movie Transformers with Shia LaBeouf. The year was 2007. My family and I, in the summertime, we went to the drive-thrus constantly. We had it so good growing up. And this was one we were all anticipating. I love the cartoons, and my mind was blown with the CGI that I still think is fantastic 17 years later. A 16-year-old boy just wanted to get a car, and that car just happens to be an alien, and he's going to have to save the world. What more could you ask for? At number 11, my favorite sports film of all time, Remember the Titans of Denzel Washington. I remember watching this in middle school back in 2008, and just getting to see what the country used to be and the racial divide and how football brought black and whites together. It's an inspiring tale. Is it cheesy? Yeah, but it's so damn feel good, man. When the Titans go on their run, the music, the soundtrack, it just makes you think of football, makes you think of fall. That's why it's number 11. Kicking off our top 10 is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 in 2002. I was 6 years old. I had Spider-Man 1 on the PS2. I was playing this game nonstop. My dad said, "Hey, Brock." "What, Dad?" "It's time." "Time for what?" "Time to go see Sam Raimi's Spider-Man." And 121 minutes later, I fell in love with the movies. I love this. Seeing this back on the big screen again this year was phenomenal. Spider-Man 1 is the best comic book movie origin of all time, and I love this film. At number 9, we have Disney's Holes with Shia LaBeouf. I mean, come on, Madame Zeroni, Stanley Yelnats. The storytelling in this movie does not get enough credit. It is so layered. There's so much foreshadowing. It is so damn good. And when in 2003 this movie came out, we took a field trip when I was in the 2nd grade to go see this movie. We read the book. Our parents had to sign a permission slip. We had a private rental in my hometown for this. This was my end game, honestly, growing up. I think Holes is the best book adaptation ever. It's phenomenal. I love this movie. At number 8 is the best Star Wars movie of all time. That is Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Again, movies have been such an event in my lifetime. The year was 2005. My dad, this was my first midnight screening ever, back when we had that, and I missed those so much. My dad rented me the game for Blockbuster. I only had 2 hours to play it, picked me up early from school. We took a nap at 10 o'clock. We went in line and got in line for, that's just when, back in the day, they didn't have reserved seats. You had to pick out your seat to get there early. We were middle row, 12 o'clock, that opening crawled a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. John Williams' epic score hits in. 2 hours, 28 minutes later, my mind was blown. I actually cried because I did not like seeing the Jedi being unalived. It was so tragic. It was so sad. I love this. This has the best Star Wars episode, lightsaber duel as well with Anakin Obi-Wan, and Anakin's birth of Darth Vader, to me, is perfect. At number 7, my favorite comedy for the 2000s, Dodgeball, True Underground Story. Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller were at the peak of their careers. This movie's so dumb on paper, but it's so damn funny. The 2000s comedies just hit different. They're unapologetic. They don't care who they offend. They're hilarious. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. Jody loves Chachi. Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Right? I mean, so many quotes that I do. I don't know, Cotton. It's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see about that. I freaking love this movie so much. At number 6, what I think is the best science fiction movie of all time is the Wachowski brothers, now sisters, The Matrix. This was my first rated R movie I ever saw growing up. We rented it from Blockbuster. I remember seeing this before Reloaded and Revolutions came out. I mean, Red Pill, Blue Pill, Neo, Agent Smith, he is the one. Keanu Reeves. I mean, Carrie-Anne Moss, the cast is stacked. The action was groundbreaking. The slow-mo, the bullet dodging. It's phenomenal. Kicking off our top 5, and what I think is the best animated movie of all time, the best Pixar movie of all time, is The Incredibles. This is 2004. My mom and dad recently split up. I was going through a lot of tough time in my life. Grandpa took me to go see The Incredibles because I love superheroes. He said, you can see The Incredibles or the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I didn't really like SpongeBob at the time. I said, let's go see The Incredibles. And my gosh, this is just good adult and kid-friendly storytelling. This is insanely rewatchable. I wish the sequel was better, but The Incredibles I will forever cherish. At number 4, and I think this is Martin Scorsese's best film, in my opinion, is The Departed. Again, I saw this when I was 11. My dad took me into the movie theater. I loved Matt Damon from the Bourne movies. I loved Leonardo DiCaprio, of course. Jack Nicholson, I just knew at that time as the Joker. And this is a remake of a Japanese movie, but like all of the insane storytelling, the layers, the plots. It's such a genius plot to have a cop that is really with the mob and someone who's in the mob but secretly a cop, and just the tension that it builds up, and you know these two worlds eventually are going to collide eventually, and it still has one of the most shocking endings ever, in my opinion, in a movie. Kicking off our top 3 and my favorite sports film of all time, Rocky IV. I cannot tell you guys how many times I've seen this, how many times I watched the montage workout scenes. It's just epic. It makes me want to work out. It makes me think of America. I just start getting my blood pumping when I work out. Does it have some of the dumbest fights ever? Yes. Is Rocky IV, the original one, done with some of the robot stuff? Yes. I don't care. You guys should watch Rocky IV, the director's cut. Rocky vs. Drago. It's phenomenal. Sylvester Stallone did 2 years ago. But this just oozes 80s. Sylvester Stallone is great. The death of Apollo Creed always rocks me. And I think Rocky getting Russians to cheer for him is some of the most epic movie moments you'll ever see. At number 2 in our runner-up, my favorite comedy of all time and one of my favorite actors of all time, Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Jim Carrey had, in my opinion, the greatest year ever for an actor that we've ever seen in 1994. Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. This is the one I always come back to because it's just so stupid. His physical comedy is a gift that Jim Carrey has, and no other actor I think we've ever seen embody it since. It's hilarious. Snowflake. Alrighty then, I constantly quote this in my real life, and it's such a well-deserved place, and I love it. But at number 1, if you guys have known me, or if you've been watching my channel for any extensive period of time, you guys know how much Spider-Man 2 means to me, and it is my favorite movie of all time. It literally saved my life. If you want to know what that means, you can check out my story on my channel. This is the best Spider-Man movie we've ever gotten. Sam Raimi understood what made Peter Parker. You got to beat this guy down. It's just motivational, right? Truly the theme of this movie is no good deed goes unpunished, but I will do the good deed anyway. Still has the best Spider-Man fight ever on the train. The love, the ending, it's so damn good. It's just heartfelt. It's just a guy trying to make it in life. So you guys let me know, what are your top 15 favorite movies of all time? And I'm Movie Talk with Brock. I'm your friendly neighborhood movie nerd.